She didn't just interrupt the judge. She pulled out her phone mid-hearing and started texting. In open court, the room froze. You could actually hear the air conditioning hum because everyone else stopped breathing. But she didn't care. She sits at the defense table like she's waiting for a table at a Michelin star restaurant, not facing criminal charges. Cream Chanel suit, Hermes bag dangling from her wrist. That bag alone costs more than the bailiff makes in a year. Diamond earrings catching the fluorescent lights. And behind her, a terrified personal assistant, shaking, clutching a stack of papers, looking like she wants to dissolve into the floor tiles. This is Victoria Ashford Sterling, and she has the kind of confidence that only comes from never hearing the word no in your entire life. When the judge, Judge Frank Caprio, a man with 30 years of patience etched into his face, asks her to pay attention, she doesn't apologize. She smirks. That specific, condescending smile rich people save for the help. She actually asks him, "What's the fine? My assistant can wire it now." Like she's buying a purse. Like justice is a transaction. But here's the thing. Victoria isn't here for a parking ticket. She's not here for speeding. She's here because she destroyed a man's life and thought her last name would clean up the mess. She thinks this courtroom is just another room she owns. And when things don't go her way, she plays her ace card. The card that always works. She looks the judge in the eye and demands, she doesn't ask, she demands, that he call her husband. Her husband, the United States Senator. She wants him on speakerphone, right now. She thinks that phone call is going to save her. She thinks it's going to remind everyone who she is. But she has no idea that she just handed the judge the weapon that's going to destroy her entire world. Let's rewind for a second, because to understand the absolute satisfaction of what happens in that courtroom, you need to understand what put Victoria in that chair. 3 days ago, downtown Providence. It's rush hour. Miguel Santos is driving his delivery van. Miguel is 52, a father of 3, working 18-hour days to send money back to his elderly parents in El Salvador. He stopped at a red light. Suddenly, impact. Violent. The kind of metal-on-metal crunch that makes your teeth hurt. Victoria's luxury SUV slams into the side of his van. It's not a fender bender. It's a wreck. Now, most people, when they hit someone, they panic. They check to see if the other person is alive. Not Victoria. The traffic cameras show her SUV backing up, tires screeching and peeling away. She doesn't even slow down to look. She leaves Miguel unconscious in a crumpled van and drives home to her gated driveway. But it gets worse. When the police finally track her down 2 hours later, because you can't hide a smashed-up luxury car, she doesn't ask if the victim is okay. She threatens the officer's career. She literally tells the cop, "Do you know who my husband is?" Fast forward to the courtroom. Judge Caprio is reading the charges, leaving the scene. Failure to render aid. Reckless endangerment. Every charge is a felony. Every charge carries jail time. And Victoria? She's checking her cuticles. She looks bored. When the judge mentions the victim, she waves her hand like she's swatting away a fly. "It's a misunderstanding," she says. "The media is blowing this out of proportion." And then she drops the line that makes the gallery gasp. "My husband donates more to this city's infrastructure than this courthouse is worth." You have to picture the scene. There are regular people in the back, a nurse in scrubs, a guy in paint-stained work clothes. They're watching this woman try to buy the law. The disrespect is palpable. It's heavy. Judge Caprio looks at her. He's seen it all. But you can see a change in his eyes, a sharpness. He says, "Mrs. Sterling, charity doesn't buy immunity. You can't donate your way out of a hit and run. Victoria laughs. She actually laughs. It's fine, she tells her lawyer, who is currently sweating through his suit. Marcus will fix this. He always does. And that's when she makes the demand. Call my husband. He's on the Judiciary Committee. He'll explain to you how this works. The audacity is staggering. She is asking a sitting judge to call a U.S. senator to interfere in a criminal trial. It's illegal. It's unethical. It's insane. The lawyer looks like he's about to have a stroke. He tries to stop her. Your Honor, my client is… But she cuts him off. Quiet, Martin. I'm handling this. The courtroom goes dead silent. 10 seconds pass. Nobody moves. Judge Caprio looks at the phone. Then he looks at Victoria. She's leaning back, smug, victorious. She thinks she's just checkmated the legal system. She thinks the judge is afraid. But Judge Caprio isn't afraid. He reaches for the phone. You want me to call him? He asks. On speaker? Yes, she says. That would be perfect. You can feel the tension tightening like a guitar string about to snap. The judge dials. The ring-back tone echoes through the microphone speakers. Ring. Ring. Every person in that room is holding their breath. Victoria is beaming. She's ready for the voice of God to come down and tell this little municipal judge to back off. Senator Sterling's office. This is Judge Frank Caprio. I have your wife in my courtroom. A pause. Then the transfer. 2 minutes of hold music that feels like 2 years. Victoria is literally adjusting her hair, checking her reflection in her phone screen. She has zero doubt about what's coming next. Then, the voice. Judge Caprio, this is Senator Sterling. It's a strong voice, authoritative, the voice of a man used to power. Victoria's eyes light up. Here it comes. The rescue. Judge Caprio doesn't waste time. Senator, your wife is here facing serious criminal charges. She insisted I call you. She seems to believe your position might influence how justice is administered here. Silence. Absolute suffocating silence on the line. Victoria leans toward the microphone, smiling, waiting for him to say, "Let her go, Judge." Instead, the senator sighs. It's a heavy, tired sound. Judge Caprio, he says, and his voice has changed. It's tighter. Let me be clear. I have never asked for special treatment. I have never used my office to protect family from consequences. And I am not starting now. Watch Victoria's face. The smile doesn't just fade, it shatters. Her eyes go wide. Her jaw goes slack. It's like she's hearing a foreign language. Whatever my wife has done, the senator continues, she needs to face it. Like any other citizen. The room erupts in whispers. The gallery is shocked. But Judge Caprio isn't done. He says, Senator, since you're on the line, there's something else. I'm listening. Your wife didn't just hit a van. She hit Miguel Santos, a father. And while Mr. Santos was in the hospital with a concussion, representatives from your wife's foundation paid him a visit. This is the part that turns your stomach. This is the part that makes this more than just a traffic case. They offered him $20,000 to sign an NDA, the judge says. When he refused, they went to $50,000. And when he still refused, they suggested his work visa might face some unexpected complications. Let that sink in. They didn't just try to bribe him. They threatened to have him deported. They threatened to destroy an immigrant family to save a rich woman's reputation. The silence on the phone now is deafening. It's the sound of a career dying. It's the sound of a marriage ending. Oh my God! the senator whispers. You can hear the horror in his voice. He didn't know. You can tell he didn't know. Victoria is pale, ghost white. Her hands are gripping the table so hard her knuckles are popping. For the first time, she looks at the gallery. She looks at Miguel's sister, sitting in the back row, crying. She realizes the shield is gone. The money, the title, the husband. It's all gone. Judge, the senator says, and his voice is shaking. I am devastated. I am embarrassed. And I am angrier than I have ever been. What would you like me to do, Senator? Caprio asks. This is the moment. The turning point. Victoria makes a small noise, a little gasp, begging him with her eyes to stop this. Treat her exactly like you would treat anyone else, the senator says. No special consideration, no courtesies. If she committed these crimes, she faces the consequences. And then he adds the kicker, the part that destroys Victoria's last shred of arrogance. And regarding Mr. Santos, I will personally ensure he is compensated, not from the foundation, from my personal account. And the threats about his visa? I'm contacting the Department of Justice myself. Intimidation is a federal crime. I don't care who committed it. The call ends with a click. The courtroom is stunned. The lawyer is staring at his shoes. The assistant is crying. And Victoria Sterling is sitting there, totally alone. The armor of the Chanel suit doesn't matter anymore. The Hermes bag is just leather. She's just a criminal who got caught. Judge Caprio puts the phone down. He looks at her. It's not anger anymore. It's pity. Mrs. Sterling, he says, you wanted your husband to intervene. I think he just did. She starts to cry. Not the fake tears for the cameras. Real, ugly tears of someone realizing that for the first time in her life, the check bounced. The manager isn't coming to help. The reality she's been avoiding is crashing down on her head like a ton of bricks. The sentencing wasn't a negotiation. It was a reckoning. Judge Caprio stood up, and the black robes looked like the wings of a hawk. He looked down at this woman who had walked in like royalty and was now slumped in her chair like a broken doll. 6 months, he said. 6 months in county jail. Not a fancy retreat. Jail. Real jail. But he didn't stop there. 1,000 hours of community service, he ordered. But not just anywhere. He mandated she serve it at immigrant assistance organizations. He forced her to look the people she threatened in the eye every single day for 1,000 hours. To learn their names, to hear their stories, to understand that the people she treated like disposable props were human beings. And a $50,000 restitution to Mr. Santos, the judge added, plus a lifetime driving ban in the state of Rhode Island. When the bailiff moved to handcuff her, she didn't fight. She didn't scream. She turned and looked at the gallery one last time. She looked at the regular people, the nurse, the painter, the delivery driver, and for the first time, she didn't look through them. She looked at them. There was shame in her eyes. Deep, burning shame. As they led her away, the clicking of her expensive heels on the marble floor sounded different. It didn't sound like power anymore. It sounded like a countdown ending. But here's the twist. The redemption arc you didn't see coming. 3 months later, Miguel Santos got a letter. It wasn't typed by a lawyer. It was handwritten on jail stationery. Victoria Sterling apologized, and she didn't just say, sorry. She wrote 3 pages detailing what she was learning from the women she was locked up with. She wrote about realizing how blind she had been. Miguel framed that letter, not as a trophy, but as proof that people can change, if you force them to wake up. Senator Sterling lost his marriage, obviously, but he kept his seat. In fact, he became the loudest voice in the Senate for protecting victims of intimidation. He turned his personal humiliation into a crusade for justice. Victoria Ashford Sterling walked into that courtroom thinking she was the main character. She thought wealth was a shield. She thought power was a weapon. But she learned the hard way. Arrogance is a loan, and eventually, the truth comes to collect. She wanted the judge to call her husband. Be careful what you wish for, because sometimes the person you think will save you is the one who hands you the shovel to dig your own grave.